What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sons of Montezuma podcast. Of course, you guys, if you haven't forgotten, hopefully who we are. This is Mateo San Diego, of course.
I'm an Aztec warrior.
Beard's a little longer, a little grayer these days. Boy, the off season has done that to me just a little bit, But it could be worse. It's actually things are very good in Aztec land, right, Fiend? What's going on, Fiend?
Yeah, man. Does that Manscaped work on the beard or no? That don't go anywhere near the beard.
No, man. Gotta leave it alone. Oh boy. Well, where are we, guys? Because it is the off season. It's been the off season. Took about what we take off, like a month. I don't know how long it's been since we last recorded a basketball episode, but this is a Kiss the Rings episode. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. We keep it rolling, man. Things are official. The portal's been closed. A lot of developments have came since then, I guess, in the world of college basketball. But Aztec Nation is solid, man. It's solid. We got our team in place, except for one, Fiend, and that's who we're going to be talking about. Of course, Miles Byrd in the NBA draft combine right now, and I gotta say, Fiend, let's just get into it. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's a treat to watch him and watch an Aztec in the combine, the NBA draft combine, right? We all selfishly want Miles Byrd to come back. We got Magoon locked in. Of course, we all know he had surgery on the knee, arthroscopic. So, you just got to let him rehab the thing. We'll get into that. But having Miles Byrd participate in this combine, it's a thrill, man. I don't think we've had many players get to ascend to this point, make it past that point. We've had great players, don't get me wrong, but to that I guess awareness or just recognition, whatever you want to call it, get to this point. Of course, there are some other players there like Lamont Butler, right? Lamont Butler, Kentucky. But how do you feel, man? I'm super excited to see this from Miles and just to experience this, however which way it goes. It's cool.
Yeah, I share that enthusiasm. I'm excited to see how he matches up against the top 75 players in the draft. There's 59 draft spots that these players are vying for, and he's going against the best, and it's going to be exciting to see everything. I mean, we're just seeing the measurables come out now. Some of it's a little surprising. Did not expect him to be under 6'5", right? Is he 6'4" and 3/4? I mean, I think he's supposed to be 6'7", or at least that's what it's reported. So I don't know if he stands on his tippy toes when was doing the measurables at state or what, but
it's the shoes. It's got to be the shoes.
It's got to be the shoes. Yeah, that give you at least 2 to 3, and then maybe the hair. That adds in a little bit as well. So gets him to 6'7". So, but he's got a really long wingspan, which the NBA loves, and he just has the skill set that NBA teams covet. He wasn't the most accomplished player at state, second team. All Mountain West, all defensive team. You could say that Jaden Ledee probably had much more success last year as an Aztec, but is not getting the buzz that Miles is getting. And I think a lot of that has to do just with the potential and how his game translates to the NBA. I think it translates better than Jaden Ledee. Jaden's a guy who had a great G League combine performance last year, and he didn't get the call up to the NBA combine. It was a little disappointing. I think there's a lot going in Miles' favor, especially the fact that he's young. He's only 20 years old. I think he turns 21 in sometime this summer or at the end of the summer. And he's young, and he's got so much potential, and that is what NBA teams bank on more. It's not what you've done in college, but what they think you're going to do down the road. And so he's in a great situation. Right now, if I had to guess, I think I'm not sure he's coming back. But we'll see. This week is going to determine it, how he plays against his these top players that are in the draft.
So just so you guys at home watching or you listening on the podcast versions, 75 players are invited to this combine, the NBA combine, right? But there's only 59 picks, Fiend. I know you wrote a really cool article detailing this decision that Miles Byrd has and how it affects the Aztecs, how it's going to basically affect his moving forward. Does he position himself coming back to state, position himself for maybe a higher position in the draft next year, or does he put all his chips in the NBA basket, as they say, and perform well in this combine? So 59 picks, 2 rounds, and that's June 25th and the 26th is the draft. So he's got a little bit of time after this combine to make that decision, and it's all about, like you said, how he plays. I saw the teams that he is on came out, the roster. You got, I was mentioning before we got on that Kobe kid from Nevada. And like you said, man, it's just the versatility, the youth. It's going to be real interesting to see the mock drafts, right? Some people don't put stock in the mock drafts, but I mean, what else are you going to put in there?
Yeah, I mean, that guy, Kobe Sanders, like you were talking about, another guy that really did not have an all-conference first team. I don't think he was all-conference first team in the Mountain West. He wasn't the most accomplished player, but again, he has the size, he has the skill set that NBA teams love, and so that's why he got the call up to the combine. And a player like Lamont Butler, a little surprising, that he was in the G League combine, but did not get the call up to the NBA combine. So I'm just excited. I'm excited for Miles. I think this is a great opportunity for him. Obviously, we know that SDSU is not the destination. It's the journey, right? He wants to get to the NBA. That's always been the goal. And we'll see. It looks like the teams, based on what I'm seeing online, there's a lot of buzz about Miles, and he's like moving up, instead of moving down draft boards. So that looks promising for him. But can he come back and improve on things at state? Absolutely. I mean, his size, I think he's like only 190 pounds. He could put on some weight for next season. Obviously, the outside shooting did not shoot well. I think it was like 30%, 31%. It's not very good from three-point range. We covered it exclusively, especially the shot selection, some of the shots he was taking from way outside, 25, 30 feet. He could have shot a little better getting closer to the line. So, some IQ stuff that, he could work on. But can he work on that in the NBA as well? Sure. So I think it really just depends on how he does in the combine, how the interviews go with the teams, how the performances go with the teams. And all it takes is one team to say, you know what, we're going to take you in second round and give you guaranteed money. And that may be what it takes to get him to stay in the draft.
Really quick before we go any further, a big thank you, Angelica, for your super sticker. Of course, got to give you those props right off the bat. Thank you so much, Mr. Jeff Goodall from the Swish League, of course, and Aztec Games. You always see Jeff down there. He thinks he's coming back. He's saying he's back. You guys can search there in the comments there. He says he thinks he's coming back for next year and bringing awareness to what he needs to work on before the draft. That matters. So, Fiend, what you're saying is that, you're right. I mean, you in particular covered those things he needed to work on exclusively, extensively. We try not to, beat it over the head, but it was a fact, right? And, I saw some things out there online. Everybody's got their opinion, right? Oh, look at Shedeur Sanders. Like, come on, if you want to compare, there's no legitimate reason to
not even
compare
close.
that. And I love the fact that you bring up the meetings, because you're meeting with team scouts, all that good stuff, officials in franchises, and that would have to be something that would really, I think, and probably the reason why I think his draft stock is rising so much because, dude, I mean, you just listen to Miles talk. I mean, he's the son of a coach. He knows exactly. He shows that passion to work, to get better, the team aspect of it. Like, yeah, I mean, it's the type of young guy that you want in your team with that passion, that energy, and he's got the physical tools. It's just, I think, adding that muscle, showing that consistency, but you're going to do that regardless. It's just going to take a little bit of time. So that's the
Right.
tricky part.
It's a matter whether you're going to do it in the NBA or you're going to do it, in college. Yeah, there's definitely things, especially on the mental game, and how physical the NBA is. I mean, you look at these guys. You play against a Draymond Green, he's going to get in your head. Anthony Edwards, he's going to get in your head. I mean, these guys talk mad smack in the NBA. And we saw Miles a little bit when he was, playing against some of these teams that they let him, get to him. And so I think those interviews are going to be really interesting because these teams will test him on his IQ. They will, grill him about like things that might have happened, during the season. And so, they're evaluating him thoroughly, because they want to make a good decision about who they draft. And so, yeah, it's going to be very crucial to his success, not just the on-court performance, but also how he does in those interviews.
Pretty safe to say now he's probably at his most healthiest he's been as well. So I'm really eager to hear how he does in these scrimmages, right? That season, the Mountain West season was a grind. And they made it known. I mean, he was ailing. He was battling some injuries that it was pretty obvious. You scratch your head because it wasn't really public until towards the end of the year where you start saying, okay, he's healing up, but he's got to be the healthiest right now. He's been in a little while.
Yeah, and beginning of the season, he was shooting over 40%. He had that amazing performance at the NIL tournament. He was getting a lot of buzz, about being drafted then. And I think that kind of tailed off later in the season because he just wasn't shooting as well. As some of that, was a product of injury. We did talk about how in the non-conference, they don't play as many games. You're more fresh, as you go into that grind of season with the Mountain West, you're playing more games. And so it's more physical. You have less time to recover with your body and, all that. And look, the NBA, season, I mean, is what, twice as long. There's a lot of load management that goes into that, but it's a pretty grueling season, and you got to be physically up to the task, and so, but I think with him, I'm not sure he would be getting, even if he went to the NBA, I'm not sure he would be getting significant minutes. I mean, probably almost like a redshirt year, kind of like he had in a development year, like he had in 2023, which makes me wonder, like, okay, he had the development year in 2023, right? And then when we went to the finals, and then he had a role position the following year, right, in 2024, and then 2025 he comes out and he's like the leader. Now, he's got a choice. I mean, he can come back to San Diego State and be the guy, be the leader, have the ball in his hands a lot. Does he want to go back and do another development year? Which is essentially what this would be, or does he want to come back and be the man in front of 12,000 people and, enjoy, one more year at SDSU? And I'm sure he's making pretty good money, probably comparable to what you would be getting like on a two-way contract at least, with NIL. I don't know what the figures are, but that I'm sure that's got to factor into some of that. And second round is there's no guarantees with second round. I think I said in the article that Tristan Newton was picked with like the 49th pick, which is where I've seen where Miles might go. And he, signed a two-way contract. You're floating between an G League team wherever. I think Kashad was playing in like Sioux Falls, South Dakota, or something like that. Like, you're starring on a Sioux Falls, South Dakota team. This is no knock against Kashad either, because he went what, 5 years. you know, but and then you start and you're playing in front of like 1,500 fans or whatever, and then you go to your NBA club and you basically riding the bench, and so you're kind of forgotten, you know what I mean? Whereas you can be that guy at state. We've got the NIL tournament. You can showcase again in front of the best of the best in college. I'm not saying that he should come back or go, go. This
No,
is
you're making an argument though.
that,
You're making an argument
right.
for the alternative, and it's a good
Exactly.
argument. You really can elevate your name out there, get that development to where your contract is a much better situation. I've seen opinions out there, and I agree. I don't think he's coming out for a two-way.
It's going to be a real tough decision, and I think he may wait until the May 28th deadline to make that decision.
Yeah,
because
you got it. You got the time. You got the time.
Yeah, but it's a really tough decision to make.
Yeah. No, but if you got the time, get out there, compete, play, showcase yourself in front of all the franchises, give yourself that, prime the pump, as you would say, right? You want to put everybody on notice. Hey, I can do this, I can do that. If they still have constructive criticism that's not going to get you to a certain number, at least you put yourself out there, and man, what an experience, right?
Yeah,
come back to state and just be the man, like you said.
Yeah, there really is no need to, withdraw from if he's going to withdraw from the draft until the deadline. And I think a big reason for that, and I covered that in the article, is the NIL considerations. We've had 106 early entrants in the NBA draft, the lowest since 2015 or 16. And some of these guys are in the portal right now who are at the NBA Combine and could get drafted late first round or second round. And they've either transferred to other teams or they're still in the portal. And these guys can get like $2, sometimes maybe even $3 million, in NIL money to come back to school. So what does that do to guys like Miles if he stays in the draft? And there's a bunch of dudes that are getting out of the draft. That's just going to shoot him up the board even higher.
Yeah.
You know? So it's really going to be interesting to see who stays in, who leaves, comes back to college, and how that might influence Miles' decision whether to stay or not.
Well, I know he's on the radar, that's for sure. ESPN, what is it? USA Today, I want to say, everybody's taking notice, which is a good thing. It's just we're gonna hold on tight till the end of May. We're gonna hold on tight.
And hey, whatever he chooses, I mean, he gets mad respect for not going into the portal. Right. Like he's either going to be an Aztec for life, or and he's going to have another year. Either way, he's an Aztec for life. But he's going to the NBA. So I mean, I think we as fans should be thrilled for him, whatever he decides, and we should support that decision. Like, don't come around me with some negativity about his decision if he decides to stay in the draft. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, I'm happy for him, whatever he chooses. If he comes back, I'll be thrilled. If he doesn't, that's okay too. We did really well in the portal this year. We're stacked. We've got a lot of depth. And so, not to say we don't need Byrd. I think we're significantly better with him. But if he doesn't come back, it's not going to kill us, right?
If it wasn't that. If that wasn't the case, though, boy, we'd be on here sweating bullets. We'd be pacing up and down on this episode. Boy, but nice to have some extra help from your friends on the roster right now. Magoon, as we said, arthroscopic knee surgery to clean up some things. It was an opportune time to get him, cleaned up, get him healed before. What is it? November, Dutch said. It's not, the greatest thing you want to hear, but hey, while you're young, you can get over it. You can heal quick. I had arthroscopic like 3 years ago, and I'm an old head. So
when you
that
fell
wasn't
off
as
the
easy to get
paddleboard
over.
at Mission Bay, you fell off your paddleboard.
Yes, Fiend. Thank you for putting that out there. I fell off the paddleboard, knee locked up, and that's all she wrote. It was like, okay, your meniscus is torn.
But you were
So
cruising around at Snapdragon in your dad's scooter. That was pretty cool.
had the mobility scooter for opening day at Snap. That was very serious. It wasn't a great day at the opening day at Snapdragon. That was tough. It was hot. I was on a mobility scooter. But yeah, dude, you know, and those meniscus, that's what I had. Even the surgeon and doctors advising me were like, it's a 50-50 shot, like if you want to do it or not. Some people don't do it and you just kind of deal with it. But hey, I'm not Magoon Guath, right? You got to get that done. You got to get that taken care of. So we're glad he's going to be good. We're going to miss him this summer, of course. Swish League is coming up, and we're going to get into that in just a few moments, Fiend. I hope you don't mind. But this Aztecs team, like we said, man, they're locked down. This is a squad, one of the deepest squads, I think, coming into a regular season. It's a different kind of year because now we got a lot of different transfers coming in. And I mean, some like Odin came over from Wyoming, a couple schools removed. Then you got, you know, your boy that came in from San Jose State by way across the pond in the UK. And, you know, it's going to be an interesting year. I'm excited for it. If Byrd comes back, it's going to be absolutely bananas from the jump. But if he doesn't come back, like you said, this team is deep. They're going to have to take a little time, I think, to get used to playing with each other. Hopefully, a lot of those players will be here in San Diego this summer to where we can, you know, get them ingratiated to the Swish family and all that good stuff. So, you know, it is what it is. Either way, though, man, this year is going to be interesting. I like what Jeff had to say down over here, man. Hey, top of the mountain for the final time, the Mountain West Conference for the final year for all that we know right now before the Pac-12 jumps off, the new Pac-12. We'll see. All right, let's take you got anything else, Fiend, before we take a little break and transition into the Swish League?
No, I'm ready for Swish. Let's do it.
All right, let's take a little break, guys. I hope you guys enjoy just a little something I wanted to share with you guys as we transition. Let's go.
We're good.
Who's that cat coming down the street?
I don't know.
We're good.
Like that.
We're good. Come on, Will. What kind of play is that? What? That was a foul. Come on, Jay. Come on, Jamarion. Come on, Jamarion. Every single time we get a stop. We can't get a stop. Simple. Come on. Little Reggie. Get to the basket. That's quick. That's not Reggie. Way to fight for it, Reggie. We need stop.
And I always like to give Kawhi his wisdom. He goes to me, hey, Pat, you know, slow is pro. Slow is pro. What did you mean? He meant, I'm just meaning in life, period, Pat. Mistakes usually happens when you rush. So slow is pro. And guess what pro is, Pat? You guessed right, it's slow. Then he hit me with the, yeah, Pat, we all crazy. You just like to show yours. Shout out to Kawhi, man. He's great. That's my dog. You go to his house in Diego, right? Kawhi, what the fuck you doing, man? Let's work. Yeah, I'm in San Diego. You coming down? I get to his crib. I look at his basketball rim. Basketball rim isn't a normal basketball rim. It's a actually NBA size rim. I go, you got this from the gym? It's the championship rim that we won a championship with in Toronto. I have them give me the rim and I put it in my backyard.
I love that, Fiend. I love that, man. I love a good Kawhi story, bro. I love it.
He's funny, man. I mean, I think a lot of people think he's just kind of very laid back and, you know, doesn't talk a whole lot. But, you know, I've seen some episodes. I saw one with his teammate in Toronto, and it was hilarious. I mean, I think he's really a fun guy. It'd be fun to hang out with Kawhi. And some good wisdom there for Pat.
I think the little kid, I can't remember his name, but is that about the coaching style that I think I could see you having there on the sidelines, dude?
Yeah, that definitely seems like up my alley. I wonder if that kid's gonna be coaching in Swish this year. I'd love to have him coaching one of the teams.
That's great. That's great. Well, one thing, Fiend, you are a Chicagoland native, and boy, Chicago's been in the center of the world. It seems like, boy, you talk about basketball. I mean, come on. If you guys don't know by now,
Pope Leo the 14th,
the new
of the
Pope
United States.
from Chicago. I love this entrance, man. This was absolutely electric.
Now starting at guard from Villanova, Pope Leo the 14th.
Did he make the right selection choice for his entrance music, bro? Vatican
I think
City
so.
right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Villanova.
MJ would
bro,
be proud.
Villanova. Well, okay, it goes even further. What is it? Because they caught up with them. Like, man, AI is scary, bro. AI is so scary, dude. Come on now.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT of basketball to me. There is no doubt about it. It's not even a close race, let's be honest. As everyone knows, I was born in Chicago, and I got to witness Jordan go undefeated in the finals. And the second guy in the GOAT debate, LeBron James, I think the kids call him Le Diddy James or LeBarbie Diddy James or something like that. I have no idea why they call him that, but that's besides the point. But yeah, LeBarbie Diddy James has 6 finals losses. So he could never be the GOAT. Maybe he can be a GOAT on a farm.
That's cold.
But
that's cold.
Definitely not on a basketball court. But the only player that comes close to Michael Jordan in the GOAT debate is probably Ben Simmons. The way he airballs those jump shots is something to behold. The perfect shooting form with the perfect follow through. Man, is he fun to watch out there, especially when he refuses to take wide open layups. That tells me he doesn't want any free points, and that's something I could admire. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on him going forward. No Diddy.
No Diddy, bro. Pope bringing the heat. The Pope, just an excellent trash talker. True Chicagoland trash talker.
That's how we do it.
Man, what is it with you guys? Man? Unbelievable. Okay, guys, we're going to transition next. Hope you guys enjoyed a couple little laughs, right? Off-season laughs. Swish League is upon us, and joining us tonight to kick things off, because it's going to be a hot season down at the Hive, Lincoln High, this summer starting June 19th. Juneteenth is going to be tipping things off for the Swish League 2025, their 7th season. You guys, in case you guys forgot who the champs were last year, come on now. Elite Ballers. You guys, check this out.
Pro-Am, right? So should be playing Pro-Am rules.
Yeah, I did not notice that. Great job catching that. That is an elite take there by DJ Carter Hollinger.
You're Elite Ballers coach. What are you saying in the huddle?
I mean, I'm just saying, keep doing what you're doing. I think they're executing really well.
Jaden gets the screen from Skylar.
Nice.
Jaden attacking the basket. That is a great take by Jaden there. That is an excellent screen by Skylar Spencer.
Move like that on the perimeter. It shows all the work that he's put in.
What a great dump off! Oh my goodness, Jaden, what a dump off to Skylar Spencer, and he raises the roof. Finishes it 94-81. This game is over. Elite Ballers is your Swish League 2024 Pro-Am champs. This was an absolute pleasure. Kevin, Fiend, this Swish League Pro-Am was amazing.
I love my guys. I love our teammates. We play together. Shout out to my family, my mom, my wife, my kids. Shout out to the Swish League for putting this on for the city.
Love it. Fiend, you killed it on the broadcast. Of course, thank you to everybody for helping us out on the Swish team. Man, I had so much fun. Of course, you had Bryant down there, Kev.
They're so good, yeah.
On the table.
Yeah.
And everybody who helped volunteer, man. We had a blast this past summer. And joining us right now first and foremost, we want to bring in Coach Koo, one of the founding members of the Swish League. What's going on, Koo? Good to see you.
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Great.
Can't wait for Swish, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's right around the corner, and we're hyped. We're ready to go. I think this will be, hopefully our best season ever, and just looking forward to trying to bring some new stuff to it, and just bringing the city back together again in the summer is always a fun thing, and everybody gets to kind of hang out and collab, and so it'll be it's gonna be a blast, man. We're excited.
We know you're a busy man, so we thank you for joining and spending a couple minutes every Monday. We're gonna try to give a little Swish update leading up to the big opening night there at Lincoln High.
Yes, sir.
Let's bring him in because he was the winning coach for the elite ballers that we just saw there. Give him the shout out and give him thanks, and we want to make sure we welcome him in. Coach Brian, what's going on? Brian Ganster, how you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
It's great to see you, man. Outside
Great,
of
man.
Swish League.
Good to see you, Ganser.
Great to see you guys, man. Thank you for that video. That was dope, man. Brought back a lot of exciting feelings.
Kind of nice to look back on just a couple months ago, man.
It's hard to believe the years gone by.
We're gonna get a repeat. We're gonna get a back to back. Is that what's going on? You were calling your shot there.
We're gonna certainly try. It's a very, very competitive league. It took us 3 years to get it done. So definitely no guarantees, but we feel like we got a pretty good chance.
I was going to say last year was probably your most impressive run because in the previous 2 years, you were like the number 1 seed going into the the playoffs. And then I think you got knocked out both years in the semifinal, 1 year by a Kashad Johnson, Matt Bradley led team. And then the next year you had a couple guys, I think, that left to go back to Europe, Skylar Spencer, a couple others. And, that kind of put you shorthanded and lost to a really good low ballers team. So last year, being able to get over that hump, get that championship, that must have felt good for you.
Oh, it felt great. I mean, I'm almost 50 and I'm still as competitive as ever. And, I put this roster together with specific guys in mind that play a certain way. And we've been in it for 3 seasons. This will be our 4th, like you said. And that first year we went undefeated in the regular season. So it was a great way to start our first year in the Swish. And we lost in the semis to some Aztecs that were just too much for us. And that low ballers team the second year, I think we lost 1 game in the regular season in the second year. And that low ballers team has some really nice, tough players that I have a ton of respect for, and they got us again. So no excuses. I try to build my roster as deep as possible, so no matter who's around, we can be competitive and win. And I think you saw that really last season. In the 3rd season, we had tremendous variation on our roster from game to game. I think we lost 3 games in the regular season, so we struggled the most. I think that was the most competitive season I'd seen in the Swish last summer. So to be able to then come into the playoffs and win 3 straight and have some real tough games to get that done was a really great feeling. And we definitely want to get back there.
What do you think, Koo? What do you think from the competitive standpoint on what coach is saying, man? As far as across the board, competitive wise, does that line up? Can you agree?
Absolutely. Coach has been there, for a while, so he's seen kind of the growth of the league and the different players that have come through, and it's a testament to him that he kind of was he's tinkering and try to figure out how to make sure, like, the year he's talking about where he lost some guys to, I think some guys had to go out of town for a wedding, and then there was guys leaving to go overseas to play, and guys were just gone. That year he had probably the best team on paper as far as regular season went and all that stuff, but how it goes. The league is all about depth and having, a number of players, not just 1 or 2. And so he adjusted and, did what he's supposed to do. And, had a team from top to bottom, 1 to 15 that could all play and we're all ready to go at any time. And, it's a testament to coach that he gets these guys to buy in, to show up, which is not easy to do in the summer when this is their time off and, they got families and things like that. So this is definitely our our most competitive season, this past season. I think a lot of the general managers now and coaches are really into it 100%. They're taking it real serious. They want to win. The bragging rights for San Diego are out there. And, we see these guys all the time around town. You know what I mean? Like Brian's at Aztec games, and you'll see him in the gym down at the jam working out, guys. So, like, we see each other. So, when you see him, you know it. And then, I've also seen some video, and, Brian's walking around in the Swish shorts just to let everybody know, who won and who was wearing these shorts when we won. So, it rubs people, you know what I mean? So, I've spoken with other GMs as well, too. And I know people are raring to go because, they want to crack at the champs for sure. So he's done a great job of, since he's been in the league, of just putting together, top-notch players. But what that does also is it pushes these other GMs to step up their game as well, too, right? Because if you don't, you're going to get embarrassed, which is what they were doing here for a couple of years. And they just got unlucky in the playoffs. Those last two, but this year, this past season was their year, and they pulled through and did a fantastic job with a great run, down the stretch to really pull that thing out. But yeah, definitely, and I think this year will be just as tough, if not tougher, and then it's going to keep getting better, every year moving forward.
I could definitely tell, Coach, like the team environment there during the games, it does reflect on like a family atmosphere. Just you shouting out your family and just seeing how tight knit the guys were. I mean, you got a little program going on down there, man. It's very impressive.
I appreciate you saying that, and I thank you. I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head. I mean, it is a program. I've been at this in San Diego for probably 15 years, and it's just been word of mouth and doing quality work. They call us trainers, but I really see myself as a basketball coach, a teacher. And these guys on my team I see them, they're really my guys. That's what's so cool about it. It's, for the most part, it's not just a collection of guys that I'm recruiting. These are guys that have been working with me since some of them in middle school. And when the Swish first started, it was such a cool thing for this city, and we were all so excited. And in its infancy, I had 10 or 15 guys, spread across that league. And we always said, man, wouldn't this be cool to one day have our own team? Mm-hmm. And it took a couple years, but with my help of my right-hand man, Coach Thompson, and three-point play, and Skyler, the rock, the spine of this program, we were able to pull it together. And you guys see it every year. I've got new young guys that are just out of high school, and they get thrown in the fire, and we're developing it. And I know that all those, look at a guy like Jaden from Point Loma Nazarene, who played for me right out of high school, and backing up pro and D1 guards, and didn't play a ton, and then coming down last season in his second year after a year of college, and he was playing a ton and playing really good. And then this year he's in his 2 years deep and one of the top D2s in the country. We expect big things out of him. Or another young guy like David Scariano that didn't hardly play last year, but was at every game, absorbing it up from the pros, from the Dalton Thomases and Skylers and Tommies and Ben Okoden, and I mean all these pro guys that come back, Xavier Johnson. I mean, the list is long, So we really created this team originally for all my pro guys, but they're so darn busy that it worked right into my D1 guys and the D2 guys and the guys fresh out of high school, and so it is a program, and we do preach family and teamwork and playing the game the right way. And that's one of our main goals, is to go out into a informal pickup type game, but of highly competitive players, and maximize the opportunity to get better individually, to get better collectively, and compete, and that's what we do.
I'm curious how you do that, because you're saying the family environment, right? Playing that style of ball. And I know you've known many of them. You're saying from some go way back as far as middle school ages and all that good stuff. But at this point now, as they're pros, right? They're all pros. They're all playing across different stretches of the world. How do you get them to buy into that family type of culture?
Yeah, that's another great question. I mean, that's just the type of guys that I associate myself with. High basketball IQ, team type players. And that's no knock on individual skills because we all need them and have to have them. But I think that all my guys are all kind of on the same basketball wavelength, so to speak. And we see the game the same way. And we know that collectively our individual talents are, for the most part, going to be better than one player on the other team. And that's what we keep trying to prove. I mean, this Swish League, I mean, they have guys that scare me to death, you know, and I have the biggest team, but with the NBA rules, I can't put Skylar in the paint. They just stand him in the corner. Right. And so now it's up to us as a group to figure out how to stay in front of these SDSU guards and these Lincoln guards and all these other guys whose names I'm not thinking of right now, but it's a nightmare. But we know and we believe, and you saw it even last year where we won games at the buzzer just because we stuck to our system and we stuck to what we do and we believed in it and we pull it out. Doesn't always work and we can be beat, but we really believe that the game is to be played a certain way. And when it's played that way, you're better. When, you know, you get better shots, you make them, you compete on defense, you get out in transition. And the Swish is tough too because of that running clock, man. Like, you don't get a lot of possessions. And if you don't get stops, and that's what a lot of teams are doing to us, they slow the game down and they force us to guard these guards in the half court, like Malik Parsons, for example, or, you know, Norman Powell. I mean, no one, you know, we got lucky and missed him last year. So I know Jeff took the brunt of that. So shout out to his group because they were really good too. But that's just the way we do it, man. I mean, we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I think you guys are probably the most organized team that I've seen in Swish. Running sets and just really, you know, playing on the same page. I mean, some of the games it can kind of resemble just like a pickup game, but it feels like an organized basketball game when you guys are on the floor. You know, so I mean, shout out to you for all the preparation that you do with those players and, you know, getting them to buy in a summer league game, which you know more likely to see, you know, during college, you know, pro season. But I was just curious, like, one of the things that I love about Swish is it seems like every year there's guys that just pop up on the radar. It's like, wow, where did this guy come from? Why didn't I see this guy before? Like, this guy's really taking a huge development. And a lot of these guys that I've seen from Point Loma Nazarene, I'll tell you what, Point Loma Nazarene, some of those guys that have come through like your program, they could play for state. They could get rotational minutes at SDSU. A guy like Bennett Coton, he could have played at SDSU. He actually would have been very helpful on that 2022 team. A guy like Caden Anderson, you know, and then the newest one is Luke Hopp, right? Like, he's signed with New Mexico, right? So we got to face him next year. And that guy, I've had my eye on him for a couple of years. He's a really, really good player. What is your connection to like Point Loma Nazarene, and like, how do you find these guys?
Man, I mean, I could go on about that, but I've been connected to that program kind of informally for 10 plus years. Trent Suzuki, way back in the day, hooked me up with Coach Jordan over there, who was one of the assistants over there for a long, long time. And he used to run the best pickups in San Diego in the summer. And he'd get guys from all over, the pros and the college guys and the SDSU guys. And so I just kind of got my foot in the door over there. And then when Coach Logie came to coach a couple years ago, he really embraced me. You know, Ben going there. I had trained Ben when he was in high school. So that really helped. You know, the way you just get connected, once you kind of get your foot in the door, you know, you just kind of get to know them. And then Coach Downer, even more so, just embracing me. And you know, just I see those guys just like you. Like, they're not the best athletes, you know, necessarily, but they're all pretty darn good athletes, and they're really, really skilled, and they're still close to the same size. And so I agree with you. Some of those guys could definitely play a role at the D1 level. And I think Luke Hopp is kind of the one that finally got a chance. You know, Caden kind of toyed around with going his last year to a D1. and Dalton, even before him, who was like the National Player of the Year, runner up, plays in the EuroLeague. I mean, these guys are nasty players. And I mean, how cool is it that I can get 5 of them on my roster? And, I don't know if you all know this, but in the D2 level, the coaches can't work with their players in the summer. So they don't get a chance to develop them. So back to your previous point, we don't practice, like we don't have necessarily plays, but we do talk strategy and we do have a high IQ and we all kind of know certain things and are able to execute them. But to have those guys, one game last year had all 5 of them, and Coach Downer was actually there at that game. This one we played in the second gym when the lights kept going out, and which was a cool experience. And I had all 5 of those guys on the court at one time for 2 quarters. Like, that is so cool and special to me that I was able to do that, and I know that it really helps with their development in the long term. So I appreciate all these coaches, the entire coaching staff at San Diego State. It shows me nothing but love. Coach Lavin and his guys, same thing. The guys that put Loma Nazarene, I'm getting to know the new coaching staff at UCSD. Same thing, Cal State, San Marcos. So it's really, really cool for me as just a random dude from Phoenix, Arizona that has been coaching basketball and playing basketball his whole life, that I've been able to build this network. It's just really cool. And then for the Swish to give us this opportunity, I mean, to be able to put these 20 guys together that are my guys, so to speak, is just the coolest thing in the world. And to have the support of my wife and my kids and my mom, it's special.
Yeah, and there's so much talent in San Diego. It's so much fun to watch, and to have a showcase like this, like Swish League, to be able to see that. I honestly, when I first started coming to Swish League, it was all about just the SDSU players, because that's who I had interest in. But the more and more I come, the more I see just the talent, notice it, appreciate it, and you see guys like a Kylan King, playing against Miles Byrd, just cooking, an exhibition game. And I'm like, who is this guy? And I'm like, oh, wait, that's Kylan King. Oh, I've seen him at Swish League. Yeah, I saw him do that, for UTG. And so it's really cool to follow these guys when they're in college, and, to see a guy like Trey Taylor, I told Coach Ryden last year, what the heck is this guy doing playing Division II? This guy's a Division I player, and now he's got a scholarship to
Montana.
Yeah. So really cool to see a guy like that make that step up, and to see his journey, and also get to see him at Swish.
Yeah, definitely. And shout out to Coach Jeff. I mean, that team that Coach Jeff's is all his, you know what I mean? Like, those are all kids that he's been working with since they were little, and look at these guys. I mean, NBA, Malik's playing over, first division in Germany, like, just killing, unguardable. Like, shout out to all the coaches, though. I mean, it's the coolest thing that Koo and his group have built, and I know we're still in the infancy of it, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. I'm glad I was finally able to get my foot in the door with my guys and work it out. It's stressful, but it's a lot of fun, man. I mean, those games are priceless. My son and my daughter sit on the bench with me is so cool, and just the connections, the relationships, the around town. At the end of the day, I mean, this is a hobby, and I'm just in this for the respect. That's it. Like, yep. I've been trying to prove myself since I was a little kid in this game, and I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
Well, Swish is definitely a worldwide showcase. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys realize that last year or the first year putting the games on the live stream. I mean, we had people watching from Europe. We had people watching all over the world and tuning into these games that you guys get to prove yourselves. And these young guys getting a chance to get out there and learn a little something from a vet, or teach somebody else something that's just coming up in the college ranks. So it's awesome. It's awesome. Last year, the biggest surprise, the number 1 seed got knocked out, right? So, I mean,
in the first round,
anything could happen.
Yeah, shout out to you guys too. I mean, you guys are changing the game for us. I mean, this is so cool. and to have it on YouTube, to have our games on YouTube, my family can watch, my friends can watch, to have it on there in the future, so I can send out links to people like that. You guys take the time to show up and broadcast and interview us and do this. I mean, it is, and connect us with your Aztec network. I mean, I get it. The Aztecs are the biggest draw in town, and I'm proud to have one of the biggest ones on my team, and we hope to have more. And I'm so thankful that the league has so many of them, and that they've been embraced. And shout out to all the other. I mean, we got like 7 D1 and D2 programs in this town, something like that. I mean, it's like it's incredible, and they all support it, and they all come out, and it just lifts the competition. And there's so many pros that you never heard of that are nasty, getting paid to play. I mean, not the San Diego State guys from San Diego you never heard of, and to get the chance to showcase those guys and for them to embrace it, and they see that, hey, when they come home in the summer, this is their best run. This is the best thing in town, and to commit to getting to Lincoln on Thursdays at 5:00. That says a lot, that there's a product on the court that is valuable to the highest of level players, and it's worthwhile for fans who love basketball to come out for free. The parking is free. The doors are free. You can go to a snack bar. It's very reasonable. Like it's what a thing to do with your family and your friends in the summer. Like, it's incredible. Shout out to everybody involved. Thank you.
Well said. Well said.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So cool. I mean, this is year 7. Coach said it up in the game. I mean, I'm thankful to be a small part. Me and Fiend and Andrew behind the scenes. Just to be a small part of showcasing the work that you guys do and all the players and whatnot. So, I mean, this year coming up, year 7, and any more info we can kind of sprinkle out there for the listeners, the watchers back at Lincoln, of course.
I mean, definitely, as far as, we'll Suns is going to be, back again and, broadcasting games, and, we'll get it definitely a little bit more in depth with it, as you guys know. And, outside of that, it's just, we want to get people down to the gym. We want people there to come see and, come check it out. Even if you have an AAU program, bring them down. You got a high school program, bring them down. You got your family, you got nothing, we get it. It's San Diego and it's summertime, right? And we fully understand that. But at the end of the day, this is supporting kids. This is supporting the area, and these guys, these are all guys these people follow and they watch. They've known these people for a long, long time. So just getting people to come out and kind of watch, and people starting to learn the history of Swish and some of the stuff that we've been doing over the years. Like you guys mentioned it. We got to the playoffs last year. Playoffs were probably the most competitive playoff we've ever had. We had the number 1 overall seed who on paper was just loaded, absolutely loaded. And, they ended up getting upset by, a team with a guy who dropped 43 that you would never think would happen like that. So it's just, there's a lot of drama that goes into it as well, too. So it's not just, come and watch some basketball, some pickup games and, eat some hot dogs and leave. Like there's definitely high drama to it. There's definitely stakes that are involved, and these guys care. You know what I mean? Like, Coach Ganser wouldn't put the time and the energy. He wouldn't have his kids sitting there on the bench. He wouldn't go and spend all his time to be there in the summer when he could be out on the beach with his family or doing other things with his family. He brings his family there because it means something to him. And I think it means something to a lot of these guys. And so, the respect I have for Coach Ganster and all these other coaches is, it's through the roof, man, because we wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff without them. So we all support each other. I know, us as a group, the Swish Foundation, we put this thing together, and the origins of it is we started this thing because I played in a pro-am long time ago, back in 97, 98. It was phenomenal for me because it's what allowed me to get seen, to get a full ride scholarship to go play basketball at Grand Canyon. Without that, I didn't have anything. I was just kind of toiling, didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I wanted to play. I knew I could play. And me being able to play in that pro-am, there's some coaches that came to watch another guy, and I went off in a game, and they see, I know, within a couple of weeks, I ended up getting a scholarship and getting down there. So I know the power of, being able to play in something like this, to have this thing out there in our community. So it's it's just cool to be able to do that. And so, we've all been coached. We all are coaches. We've been coaches at different levels. We've coached, AAU, stuff like that. And so we're here to help kids, help the community, help grow the game of basketball in San Diego, keep putting San Diego out there, because, we're always looked at as little brother because we're down the street from LA and that type of stuff. But the amount of talent that's here needs to be showcased and needs to be seen. And, guys like Coach Ganster, and shout out to all the other coaches and GMs in the league. There's some of them that have been with us since the very first year, but they see that vision as well too. So when everybody sees a vision like that, and sees an end goal and can come together and kind of do their part to make this thing work and blow up, that's why when we do something like this, we don't know this. The pro-am that I played in back in '98 lasted 2 years and disappeared and didn't come back again until we started this thing 7 years ago. So, this isn't something where it's just like a ho-hum thing, right? Like, these things are hard to run. They take a lot of effort, and they take a lot of support from, the Coach Gansers of the world and the other GMs and managers and players as well too. So, being able to do this at a high level and being able to feel like we're competitive now, even in our infancy, is something special. And that's a shout out to, the coaches. That's a shout out to, Sons being able to come in and help us kind of broadcast this and get this out to more people, in our area and out of our area. So, we're looking forward to this thing just keep growing and growing and growing and getting stronger every year like it's doing. And, hopefully get to do some collabs and things like that to where this thing is just going to kind of take off. And, this is something where we're not gonna be able to do this forever, right? You want it to be where when we leave and it's our time to move on, we can pass this on to somebody and this thing just keep rolling. And, we can do have a league here in San Diego for 50 years, 60 years, like some of these other cities in the country do. And it's doable here. It is, especially with the connection to San Diego State and the love for basketball here and just athletics in general. It's definitely doable here. So it's just something we're just trying to do our part. And, thank God we have, coaches and teams like Elite Ballers to kind of be able to showcase like, hey, this isn't just some ho-hum thing, man. Like, this is serious, and these guys take it seriously, and they play. These are real ball players. These are real coaches. And, this is something that should be paid attention to.
Absolutely. It's building in the community, for the community.
Yep. Absolutely.
The Summer Madness at Lincoln High, of course. Sundays will be down there, of course. And looking to do some more games. Thursdays as well down there, Thursday night. So, hey, the Summer Madness at the Hive. I love it. We're gonna have to think of some new ways to market that, because, man, these games are gonna be so competitive. I'm seeing in the chat already. Other coaches want to know who's on the elite ballers roster already. It's a community, but it's competitive.
I know. I don't want to spill any beans. I can tell you, there's some Brian and his crew have they've kind of lit a fire in everybody's ass, man. So everybody's ready to go. I can tell you that. Like, there's some calls that are gone out that I know about that they're trying to bring the big dogs, man, because they know to take this team out, they got to bring the big dogs in. So there's this. I feel like this year is going to be our biggest and best year. Like, I know I said the same thing, the previous years, but it just keeps doing that again because of teams like Elite Ballers, where they up the game and they step it up. And if you don't keep up with them, you're going to get embarrassed. And we got a lot of competitors here that they're not letting that happen. So no, this is going to be a tremendous summer. And I feel like once we get down to that playoff run, towards the end of July, it's going to be fantastic, and it's going to be must-watch TV and must-watch, in the gym, and it's definitely going to be a hot ticket for the summer for sure.
So we still got a few weeks. Are we solid on how many teams? Are we still adding some and all that good stuff?
We are solid right now with teams. I do not believe we're going to be adding any as of right now, but we have a really good set of hopefully around 10 teams, and it's going to be real good. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you guys definitely want to make it down Sundays, Thursdays. If we're there live streaming, you want to get on TV, got to be down there. Got to be down there in the gym.
Absolutely.
Coach Brian, real quick, but you've had a lot of players come up through your program. So I gotta ask: start, bench, or cut? Start, bench, or cut? Skylar Spencer, Mark Ogden, or Xavier Johnson? Start
Wow.
Oh man, that's not fair.
Put you on the spot.
That's cold-blooded, man.
Those are my guys. I've been coaching Mark since he was at Grossmont College. A lot of people don't know that's where he got his start.
Do that, Mateo.
Xavier,
you got a list. You got to give them like Jeff Goodall's team. 3 guys.
Yeah, someone else's team. Those guys have all been some of my closest guys for a very long time. So I'm gonna start them all every time.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate those guys so much. Their commitment to me over the years, their trust in me. Those guys, Angelo Cho was the first Aztec I worked with. Tyrone Shelley may actually been the first one, and Angelo right around the same time. And that's how I met Skylar, and those guys have just shown me nothing but love. That connected me with Nathan, and I probably worked with 15 to 20 Aztec players over the last 10 years. Some of them once, some of them countless times. So what an honor that's been. I appreciate those connections, and I appreciate all the guys that trust in me. That's really what it comes down to. They feel like the things that I do make them better, and that's why they keep coming back to see me, and why they show up and play on my team and all that. But I will say my roster this year is going to be a lot different. My D1 guys like Yassine and Cody and Luke, they're all going to be off at college this year. I'm excited to get AJ Bergen back for the first time. He's been one of my guys since he was in middle school. Shout out to his dad, Aaron, who does a great job on the mic as well. And I'm really excited to get him in there. Some new guys from Point Loma. Hope to have some guys from USD, UCSD. I've got some guys coming from San Marcos. So we're going to have a really diverse new group. Some of the core guys obviously will still be back, but it's going to be a different group, and some of the young guys are going to time for them to step up. So awesome. I'm really excited about it. And I'm really excited about the new talent that Ku's talking about that's coming in to challenge us. And that's what this is all about. At the end of the day, we do this for a reason, and it's to compete and get better so that when they go off to their next situation, their real situation, they're a little bit better off for it. That's what the summer's for, getting better.
Absolutely. Well said, Coach. Absolutely. And, you've done a phenomenal job, and it's no coincidence that when these guys, leave after the summer and they go to whatever college or pro program they're with, they're all successful and all do well. So that's not a coincidence, man. So definitely shout out to Coach, man. He's been doing a fantastic job, and he's kind of a model for, how you should kind of run a Swish team and a summer pro team and kind of get these guys to buy in for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Ku.
All right, I'm gonna have to think of a different start, bench, or cut. Next time I see you, when I see you there, I'm gonna think of a good one. I'm gonna think of a good one. Guys, I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's gonna be a fun summer down there working with you guys. Of course, it's all business. Once we get there, it's like set up. Everything's just boom, 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 boom. It's go time.
Yeah.
But we really had a thrill this past summer watching you guys. It was so much fun watching all the teams compete. And watching you guys coach, getting in there in the huddle with the camera work, getting up close. I mean, Swish is just such an up close and really intense personal view that you guys get to have of all these players. So can't say it enough. Thank you guys for having us be a part of this thing. We look forward to growing it even further, year 7 and beyond. And man, looking forward to next week when we get somebody else coming down from Swish League and joining us and chatting it up and getting to know them.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys for, giving us the showcase, not just Swish, but for, giving these individual coaches and GMs, like Coach Ganster a showcase, just because, I think people will really understand the league more if they get a chance to understand and hear these guys talk. And, Coach Ganster represented himself and the program and Swish extraordinarily well. So this is, if you get to come down and see us, this is what you're buying into as far as program and what we're doing. And, it's being able to have guys like Coach in there and some of these other programs, that we're going to get to talk to throughout the next 6 weeks here before we get started here on Juneteenth.
Very excited. Very excited. There you have it, guys. Swish League co-founder. Can I say co-founder, Coach
co-founder? Yes.
And the 2024 champion coach of the Elite Ballers, Coach Brian Ganser. Thank you guys for joining us.
Coach of the year.
Coach of the year, yes, sir. Two-time coach of the year. Yeah, two-time. Way to let him know, coach.
Who's counting? Hey, and shout out to my guy Skyler, his blog, Footprints blog. If you want to hear about a life of an overseas baller, go check it out.
Oh yeah,
Really
I should have worn my hoodie.
read.
Oh,
Thank you guys.
Just wore my hoodie.
So much.
Hey guys, we'll talk soon. We'll talk soon.
Good night.
Yes, sir.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
coming on, guys.
All right.
Good seeing you.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Looking forward to this summer, Fiend. Of course, having you on the call. Of course, we're going to be bringing in some of the other characters that are part of the Sons of Monty team in these next few weeks leading up towards this summer. It's going to get here like super fast, man, super fast. So we're hard at work behind the scenes, like just conceptualizing, thinking of different fun production points. Of course, we got Andrew working the production board, of course, with Justin, guys behind the scenes that don't get to be in front of the camera, but you know, they make that thing happen, make that live stream happen. And of course, the Swish crew, there's plenty of other guys that are back there doing a lot of hard work, a lot of heavy lifting to make this thing happen. It's a San Diego's Pro-Am. So, man, let's grow this thing. Very excited.
Swish is up in their game. We got to up ours.
Yes. June 19th is going to be the opening tip-off. Thank you, Joe. I see you in the chat, man. Thanks for joining. June 19th, which is, I believe, a Thursday. That's going to be the opening tip for that for the Swish League, and we'll be down there pretty much every Sunday and maybe some Thursdays. We're gonna try to get in on some Thursday night action because they got those games going on as well, which is like it's super unfiltered, right? Sunday it's like we're gonna be down there. Thursday it's gonna be something else, something a little different. So looking forward to it. You guys definitely come down and have a good time with us. So next week, next Monday, stay tuned. We'll be talking with some more Swish League representatives and maybe another coach. We'll see.
Might be able to recap Miles' performance in the combines, kind of see where he's at. It's really exciting watching his journey and, you know, leading up to this monumental decision coming up here in the next couple of weeks. It's going to majorly impact, you know, his life and what he's going to do. So real curious to see what he does.
We're gonna have to do like Miles watch, like Byrd watch.
There you go.
Countdown to the draft. All right, guys. Want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. It is a Monday. Hope it's been great for you guys. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button before we sign off. And we'll see you guys next week. SDSU softball, in case you didn't know, we got an episode coming up this week as well. Let's go, girls. Go get it.
Playing this weekend, UCLA Regional against Arizona State, I think on Friday. Is that right? 7 p.m.?
Friday.
You going to make that trip up?
We'll see. Friday, you know, maybe Saturday. Or maybe Friday, just cut out of work a little early. We'll see. We'll have to do that. Not in the van.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Not in the van, though, dude. Not in the van. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Let's go. See ya.